They're not evil, but they're just kind of part of the system, and they're trying to like get ahead and like doing these double like, schemes behind their back to get the promotion. And then the heroes, like you mentioned, which I liked, is they're not like heroes; they're like broken people, because that's what occupation does. It breaks people.
Right.
And then what causes someone to not be selfish and become selfless, and then inspire the collective to rise up? And lo and behold, what's happening in the United States of America? There was I don't know, a violent insurrection, and there's a fascist movement, and there's a insane minority that wants Christian nationalism, and the rest of us are using our superpowers, even though you and I don't wear capes, to do what we can. So anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Andor.
Yeah, no. I think that's great. That's a really, I think comparing it to Palestine is excellent. And also the fact that, like, you know, in every resistance movement, we sort of we look back on them when they are successful with these rose-colored glasses and think, oh, well, you know, when Gandhian movement was completely peaceful. Yeah, there was no in India when it was decolonized, when they were liberated, when they liberated themselves. No, there was no violence. Bullshit. There was tons of violence. Gandhi himself was, yes, believed in massive movements of nonviolence, but there were people behind him and part of the liberation movement, anti-colonial movement, who were violent. There were bombs. There were guns. Like, you look at South Africa, same thing. Like, Nelson Mandela was not just a, 100% peaceful dude. Like, he understood, and the ANC understood the role of militancy and in some cases violence.
And also Mandela was described by the United States government as an extremist up until the 21st century. It took him a while to be like, oh, we forgot to designate him. The funny thing is, I'm glad you mentioned it, because when we look at like Gandhi, MLK, Mandela, all these individuals, flawed people who did amazing work, they're human beings, but we like a sanitized, peaceful version of them, completely neutered, especially when they're men and women of color. So with MLK, we just like 3 quotes from MLK, and we like all of our black and brown revolutionaries dead and on posters. And as long as they're like quiet and smiling, that's the good one. And the interesting thing is, I feel like with Andor, why it's really striking a chord, in addition to being really well written, well acted, good production value, it also shows you that everyone has a specific everyone has a role. Number one, everyone can do something to resist. And the second thing, which I think is really interesting, is especially if you've gone to, say, Palestine or Israel, if you're in Ukraine right now, you think your money and your wealth and your power will help save you from fascism, right? Everyone made this mistake during the rise of fascists in Italy and Germany. But then what Andor shows, spoiler alert, but don't worry, I'm not spoiling too much. The lead character of Andor, he gets to a point where, I got my money, peace out. He's having sex with this beautiful woman. He's on a beach. And the kind of absurdity of the occupation and fascism is that he gets arrested for literally just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He doesn't get arrested for all the heinous illegal stuff he does. And then thanks to bureaucracy, he goes to prison for 6 years.
Yes.
I think it was just like this very unsettled way of saying is that you cannot escape fascists. They will come for you.
Yes.
And I say this as we're living in the United States of America, where people are like, they're going after the blacks, the gays, the Asians, the shithole immigrants, the transgenders, the liberals, the women. I'll be okay because I'm wealthy and I live in Aspen. And I'm like, you'll be okay as long as you bend the knee. And the second you don't bend the knee, they're going to come for you as well. So I just think that's also another part of it that shows what happens to people under occupation, how it perverts otherwise good people, but then how also you just need a spark, and that can motivate people to fight back.
I love it. Absolutely. And it just reminds me of, Howard Zinn's, you can't be neutral on a moving train.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't just go to a beach town and hang out, because then you tried to get orange juice one morning and you got arrested for no reason.
Well, Todd, who's one of your viewers, says that you would make an awesome Jedi, which of course makes me ask, if you were a Jedi, what would be the color of your lightsaber?
Which one's the good one? I'm not that big of a nerd. Calm down. I know it wouldn't be red. That's bad saber. I want a double, obviously the indigo, because like that's
you can do indigo.
I like an indigo, and I want the both sides.
The Darth Maul. So you want to be like the good Darth Maul indigo double saber.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could do that.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do it.